So there you go. Basically, all you're gonna go in and come out. But basically, all we need is shots like this. You know, boom.
What are y'all gonna be doing while I'm doing that?
Just talking.
You're talking.
That's why we're talking. Just need a pan shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So it's recording now, so you can cut it off. You see when it says recording there? That means it's recording.
100th day of protest against racism and police brutality. And those are just a couple of things that happened on this day in history.
All right, it's time to head down to Panky, where Uncle Ron is standing by. You know that means it's time to get real about life. You know, I got to say, Pastor, I was very impressed with our Bears this weekend on the road. You know, I got some mighty Vikings over there, so I was really impressed with them. They a couple of mistakes there, and they could have pulled up. They could have been a part of this upset weekend. We had some big upsets over the weekend, and UCA, I would have loved to see them do, but they did a good job. I got to say that they looked pretty good against Oklahoma State. Was it Oklahoma State that they had? Yeah, Oklahoma State. Everybody was over there. UAPB played Tulsa. UCA played Oklahoma State, and then ASU played Oklahoma, and oh Lord, that wasn't good. If you haven't heard, our First Lady has COVID, and COVID is on the rise here in Central Arkansas. We'll talk about that. Newport celebrate the life and legacy of a former Razorback. We'll tell you about that. And there's a crack house in Russellville.
Oh, let's Google that now.
We'll tell you about the crack house in Russellville. All that's coming up. 6:41. We're 19 minutes away from 7 o'clock. This is the Broadway Joe Morning Shows. We take birthdays, anniversaries. 501-381-0923. Arkansas. We also lost one of our former legislators over the weekend, educators and legislators over the weekend. We'll give you an update on that. COVID-19 is back. Our First Lady, Joe Biden, has just reported having it, and it's on the rise here in Central Arkansas. We'll tell you more about that. As well as Newport celebrated the legacy and the life of a former Razorback. We'll give you an update on that. And it's called the Crack House, but actually it's cracking seafood, you might say. But we'll tell you more about it. That was the inside of the story. We'll tell you about all of that. We've got it coming up for you here this morning in Arkansas News. And later this morning, Keith, we'll have some sports coming up. We had big upsets over the weekend.
Yes, huge upsets over the... I'm talking about ranked teams, Joe. None bigger than Clemson, TCU. Could we call Arkansas State an upset?
No.
They were upset.
That wasn't an upset. But Florida State was somewhat of an upset.
Not only was it an upset for LSU, it was a very impressive win for Florida State.
Absolutely.
At home. But it was some good football over the weekend, Joe. As you said, last night was a good one.
Right.
Duke upsetting Clemson. And then...
So my question to you, Keith,
okay.
Do you believe?
You can't do nothing but believe, Joe.
Do you believe?
You can't do nothing but believe.
You believe now? You believe.
Hey, I want to quote Shadir Sanders, and he said, let him tell it, I was just at a HBCU last year. He said, I ain't never threw for 500 yards. Ever.
Right.
I ain't never threw for 500 yards. And I
didn't do it down there?
Yeah, and I did it at the Division I against a team that was in the final game, one of the final games last year.
Yeah.
National championship game.
Yeah. So,
yeah, come on, Joe.
Yeah.
And he didn't run.
I think he should be player of the week, don't you think?
He should. He didn't run. Everybody expected that he was going to scramble or something. Didn't run.
He
Everything for the pop.
Yeah, he threw it, man. He was on point.
But we got to give number 3 his props. That little running back.
Yeah. Where did he get all these players from? He got a bunch of them. I know that, right?
Transfer portal, Joe. Transfer portal. It was a very good game. We do have the start of the NFL season on Sunday, Joe.
Yeah, well, actually Thursday.
Thursday. That's what I meant. Thursday, Joe.
Thursday is coming up. Yeah, we'll be talking more about all of that.
Looking forward to that.
On the way. All that stuff is coming up here this morning. Today, it's First Security Bank with us this morning. It's the first Tuesday of the month, and every first Tuesday, we welcome the First Security Bank team in. It's First Steps Tuesday. We're going to talk finances today. We got that coming up inside the hour. You got some dirt news for us also, Skirt.
Yeah, Joe, we're looking at this Tory Lanez situation still. He's been sentenced to 10 years in prison, but his new attorneys, they say, you know what, we need to get bail because he should not have to sit in jail while we do this appeal. We also want to talk about Diddy, who is reassigning publishing back to his artists. I thought that was pretty cool. So
And we talk your finances. Want to get your credit score in order, and today we're talking something that's a little bit different we hadn't talked about before, but predatory lending. And we have Andrea Lewis with us this morning, and she's going to be talking a little bit more about that, as well as, again, answering your questions. So if you have any questions about becoming a homeowner, about your finances, 501-381-0923, you can give us a text. Text that number, and we will definitely get your questions answered this morning. Andrea, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It feels good to be back. We're just
Yeah.
excited to be here one more time to talk
Right.
to our fellow listeners about, getting ready to purchase that home, what it takes, any mistakes you've made in the past and you just need some help in correcting, maybe credit issues, learning how to budget to prepare for a mortgage. That's what we want to be here and inform you about. And today we're going to talk about, predatory lending and what the warning signs are, how not to be taken advantage of when you have, and I'm trying to be careful with my words, but the pushy mortgage originators, the ones who are really, you can tell that they want you in the home more than you want to be in the home. That's what you
Okay.
need to look out for, because obviously then there are some incentives maybe behind the
Been in a car wreck and you have any questions about it, 1-800-CAR-WRECK. That's the number you need to call. I tell everybody, lock that number in your phone because you never know when you may need it. 1-800-CAR-WRECK. Talk about experience. We've estimated the Taylor King team has helped out over 40,000 Arkansans since the early 90s. That's a lot of experience, and that's what you want. Their motto is on your side, by your side. And you want someone representing you and your family that's on your side. So lock that number in your phone, 1-800-CAR-WRECK. That's 1-800-CAR-WRECK. On your side, by your side, the Taylor King team. That's First Steps Tuesday, and we have the team with us this morning, the First Security Bank team with us. And we want your questions. If you've got any questions about your finances, today is the day. And we're talking a little bit about keeping your guards up for predatory lenders. Those are people that could get you into something that's going to cause you a lot to get out of.
Yes.
And you were going to go over all of that
Just
too,
to
Ann.
give a recap on predatory lending, it's referring to any unfair practice that benefits the lender and makes it difficult for a borrower to repay debt. Predatory loans are often devastating to victims, and it can severely harm your credit and finances. And African Americans and other minority groups, they've been historically the targets and victims of predatory lending.